Дмитрий Олегович, я здесь. Да, все, вот права перешли, все вижу, все могу. Спасибо. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello. I'm Ekaterina Demchenko. So we start in 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Yes, in 35 minutes. It is according to our time, 1:30.
Oh,
Right?
I see. Yes. It's too early. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I see.
Okay. See you.
الو على بس ادخلوا سي وعيط لهم دخلوا الناس دخلوا لقيتو غير نتوما هذاك هو دخل عيط لهم
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you
Can
today?
you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't hear you.
Can you hear me? I just want to check if my microphone is working. Mhm.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
Good morning, dear colleagues, or good afternoon, depending on your time currently. So we will start a couple of minutes and let's wait for some other experts who are expected to join us.
Katarina, good morning. I just would like to apologize because I will be with you only for 1 hour because I have an executive committee in 1 hour, but I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining, and for sure I will try to give you the floor in time when you're able to be with us.
Thank you.
Dear colleagues, good morning. And I think it's time to start our roundtable discussion. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Ekaterina Demchenko. I am the head of International Affairs Office of Graduate School of Economics and Management. And I'm happy to say that today we host our roundtable discussion, Internationalization of Research in a Business School. This event is hosted within the frames of two big events we have this week. One is GCM VIP Days, which means Virtual International Partner Days in GCM. And another event we have right now is GCM Spring Research Days. And thank you all so much for your time and joining this event to discuss really very important topic of research in a business school and opportunities and ways of internationalization of research. Because in a business school, of course, research is not only the way of producing the research outcome, but as well a subject and a basic for teaching excellence and even international and even global visibility of a business school internationally. So I have to say in the very beginning that our today meeting is recorded and then it will be available at YouTube. And of course, we will share with you the link of the YouTube recording. And you are invited to share this link with your colleagues, with your partners, to let them follow our discussion and maybe add some important questions for further thinking in this way. Let's see the composition of our today event and the speakers, experts, and topics. And I think that all of you already saw these topics and speakers. I think that it is really quite good composition of countries we have here, because we have today among the experts India, China, Morocco, Algeria, Malaysia, and Russia. And all these countries currently are, they produce really very good contribution to global research activity and the development of research in business, economics, and management. Now I will introduce our experts one by one according to this agenda. And the expert who will start our discussion really soon is Professor Dr. Zhanna Bilayeva from Graduate School of Economics and Management. Zhanna is our academic director, and at the same time, she is the head of Bachelor's Program International Economics and Business at India accredited. We are happy to say that Dr. Shiba Kapil from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade is here with us today to share her experience and understanding of research collaborations with Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. And Professor Dr. Shiba Kapil is the head of International Division and Journal Division. Professor Dr. Irina Turgel from Graduate School of Economics and Management. Professor Irina is the director of School of Economics and Management, and as well she leads many key research projects in our school. I'm happy to say that Professor Dr. Seth Laraki, if I am correct with pronunciation, if not, just let me know. So thank you for being with us today, and as well, we are happy that you are the director of research at ESCA, our good partner. We are sure that you can contribute very significant parts of discussion with sharing the experience of ESCA and opportunities of development of our collaborations. I'm happy to welcome Professor Dr. Kazi Sohak from Graduate School of Economics and Management, who is the head of the Laboratory of International and Regional Economics of our school. Hello. Okay, some sounds. Okay. So, and from Malaysia, we have quite professional and good speaker, expert, Professor Dr. Maizatul Sadia Muhammad. Again, I hope that I am correct with pronunciation. And Professor Muhammad is a senior lecturer at Faculty of Business and Management in University Technology Mara. Welcome to our discussion. Professor Dr. Lyudmila Ruzhanskaya from Graduate School of Economics and Management, and she is the head of Value Chain Research Laboratory in Graduate School of Economics and Management. Professor Dr. Zubair Ayash, am I correct with pronunciation? And Professor Ayash is the research director at University Labi Ben Midi in Algeria. And we have an expert from Southwestern University of Finance and Economics from China, Ms. Naomi Xiao, who is coordinator of Sino-French Center and International Affairs Office. So I am sure that we have really very professional team to discuss the topics of internationalization of research in a business school. And now I'm happy to give the floor to our first speaker, Professor Dr. Zhanna Belyeva, GCM Academic Director and Head of BA International Economics and Business.
Thank you very much, Ekaterina, for presentation. Dear colleagues, hello, warm welcome to Ural Federal University. I'm glad that I met already some of you yesterday, and hopefully we have a lot of fruitful cooperation in the future. And well, I'm starting with this overall general slide just to present our scope and our values at Graduate School of Economics and Management. As Ekaterina mentioned, there are so many different cultures, research cultures, and also different experts in the field of economics, management, and other fields in social policy. That all perfectly fits to our research scope, and we are happy to find new niche and also some specific niche of different research avenues with your institutions, your representatives from different labs, and maybe find the way to enrich mutually our senior students, our young researchers, our mature researchers to produce sound, fundamental, and applied research results. As for us, we are striving to have good results from their bachelor level towards PhD level and beyond. And for us, it is very important to see the progress in their, not only in the ranking and internationalization of education and research, but also in their growing quality of research that we produce. And our aim is to significantly increase publications in ABDC journals, in A journals, in first quarter journals. And that is what we are doing, which we think is reflected in our rankings. Could I have next slide, please? So to make this, Ekaterina, if you could move to next slide. Yeah, well, I'm not going to take a lot of time because we have a lot of people from different countries, a lot of our key labs, but we have tried to draw some research avenues where we already have publications and research results. And as you see, they cover a lot of issues. That doesn't mean that all these research areas and research keywords are already a limitation for us, but this is where our professors already publish and have some results, and they would welcome your input to contribute. So as you see, there are lots of economics aspects, and their key theme and value for GSM that we have a lot of researchers who look at the same research subject from managerial point of view, from financial and economic point of view. And of course, there are lots of new research avenues which are top-notch interest right now, like green finance markets, like cryptocurrencies markets, like technological advances and industry 4.0, as well as environmental economics, social policy, creative industries, well-being, sustainable development, and also ESG and digital transformation. my dear colleagues from Graduate School of Economics and Management will talk specifically about projects that are already on the run right now. And I just would like to state that each word here and each cloud of words has a team, and all of them would be happy to contribute to international research. We aim to be sound not only in fundamental research, but also in applied. So Graduate School of Economics and Management, for example, has experience in working with institutional bodies at the level of Russia and beyond in CIS countries. And we also have Research Industrial Center of New Competences, which is based on cooperation with local big businesses and local institutions. And of course, it is especially sound for us that in terms of international research, it's not only private publications of our professors in collaboration with international teams, but it's also, we have a number of already finished and some progress, some research in progress that I have on the right corner of this slide. For example, Internet of Things and Sustainable Innovation was prepared in the last 3 years by our lab with our colleagues from Italy. We are currently undergoing, and it's a 3rd year of research of all demand and fiscal sustainability with Dr. Kazi Sohak and colleagues from Iran. We have a number of projects on smart cities and creative industries with Indonesia and Malaysia. And also, well, I think we can't see there, but it's also digitalization and university research with BRICS Network University, and we are part of BRICS Network University. And also there are mineral markets. I think Dr. Kazi Sohak will talk a little bit more about this. And of course, there are lots of projects which actually call for international input. And we would be happy to, to discuss their joint topics at their master level students research, at the PhD level students research, and also at their mature researchers level in terms of our events. If I can have the next slide, please. So we are organizing a number of different events to stimulate research, and I will focus on some of them. Our biggest conference, and we will have 18th conference already, which is entitled Russian Regions in the Focus of Change. It will take place in November 16-18, 2023. If you follow the QR code, you will see the last year snapshots and YouTube translation, so you can understand the topicality and the scope of conference. And we warmly welcome representatives of your institutions to contribute. We normally have 3 days of conference. The first one is with institutional bodies and businesses. The second is academic research. And the third is for younger researchers to try something. Then in this conference, we will preliminarily have the following tracks: global business and trade transformation, industrial markets, financial markets. There will be a big sustainability track, including ESG hackathon and also international research contest for younger researchers at different levels, at the level of master students, PhD students, and young researchers on world economy, ESG, and digital innovation. So we would love to have your researchers to participate both in the conference and maybe suggest specific topics that we will incorporate under the umbrella of the conference. And of course, we have our signature plenary on education challenges with the deans of business schools. And this year we will be looking into transformation of education quality and criteria from the west to the east. Then another workshop on mineral markets and global energy transition. Well, I just want to mention that it's a very high quality research workshop, which is followed by refereed special issues publications. And it's also taking place in November. Then in spring research days, we have a floor for younger researchers and even bachelor students who get the opportunity. We actually are starting this today. And of course, we will have it next year as well. So young researchers get this chance to present their publications, their research, and get feedback. And this is how we stimulate not only business education, but also their involvement and engagement into research projects. And of course, we have international workshops for PhD students and young researchers. We call them immersive research programs. They take place 4 times a year in every season, and subject depend on current issues. And these programs are, well, mostly held in hybrid format. So thanks to IT technologies, we can have more participants, and we can actually engage more research activities under these immersive programs. Well, to stimulate this, we have different calls which might be of interest in terms of research. First of all, we have current international grant calls for applications with a number of countries, including India. The deadline is in June. China, the deadline is unfortunately approaching next week, but well, we're expecting the same scope of call next year. And also right now there is a call for African countries, not all African countries of the continent, but there is a number of those. So it's sponsored by Russian government and partner countries. So it's a double application. And I think it's very important that one of the outcomes of this event today would be joint applications for granting. Also, we have a number of calls for postdocs and so-called pre-postdocs, those who are aiming to finalize PhD studies, and also for young researchers who aim to continue their academic track. And my finalizing thing would be meant to mention English taught PhD in economics, because we have the right to give PhD degrees in Ural Federal University, and we have 7 dissertation councils on topics of economics and management. And we warmly welcome to have exchange of researchers and also co-tutel programs, because we aim to have gradation on time, and we provide good international research atmosphere with top publication training. And I'm sure the head of this program, Dr. Kazi Solhak, will pitch this idea in his presentation later. So that's in a snapshot our biggest research events. The presentation, I'm sure, would be shared. So, and the deadlines and details and also the topics of research, we would be happy to discuss how to build research groups. Thank you very much, Katerina.
Thank you very much, Jana, for this very important ideas said in your presentation. And dear colleagues, do you have any questions to Jana regarding the topics she uncovered? Actually, I have one small question, because partially you told about this, but maybe you can specify some details about the availability of our programs or project for possibly international internships for PhD students from other business schools and institutions.
Well, we are welcoming students to have a short-term research internships here, and that could be as short as immersive research program, which take place in autumn and spring and winter and summertime. And also it could be an extended stay here for joint research or for preparation of a joint article. Of course, it is much easier to combine online and offline cooperation, and that could be done in several ways. Also, it could be arranged that we have a small research session within specific times when we welcome international participants.
Thank you so much for this information too. And dear colleagues, if we do not have questions to Jana now, of course, you can always send your questions via our chat in Zoom, and Jana will be able to answer. And now we go to our next speaker, and I'm going to give the floor to our expert from ESCA École de Management from Morocco, Professor Dr. Saad Laraki.
Thank you very much, and thank you, dear colleague, to really get all together. So ESCA École of Management was founded 30 years ago, so it's a young business school in Casablanca. It's the first business school in Morocco and Francophone Africa to be AACSB accredited. Basically, we have about 4,800 graduates, and we train about 1,300 students, executive manager in Morocco. It basically aims through entrepreneur courses, international development, and others to shape a new generation of high potential executive. The subject of our talk really is to focus on research, so I will zoom right away, so I won't take too much time of you. We have two chairs, one family business and one in innovation and e-business. We have 4 research groups, one in geopolitics and geoeconomics, one in social innovation and sustainability, one in investment and finance, and one in entrepreneurship. We also have a center of case studies where we collaborate a lot with our partners, and we have about 130 partners around the world. We are obviously, just like anybody else, very active in organizing webinars, workshops, professional scientific conferences. This year, in fact, last month, we have hosted the Middle East North Africa AACSB conference at ESCA. It was very successful, and we had more than 120 deans and presidents from the entire region, plus the US and even Europe. We are currently organizing a conference on climate. It's going to be called Casablanca 2023 Climate Forum. It's going to be in November, just before the COP28, and we hope the conference will provide a white paper to basically give some direction about our concern here from in Africa. We're going to also be hosting a major conference in July. It's AfriMed Finance Society. It's organized by the Darla Moore Business School at University of South Carolina, and we are hosting it in Casablanca. And just, you know, to mention the few. What I would like really to share with you, so we can explore how we can collaborate, it's simply because we want to have an impact, and there is no way that one single business school can really have a significant impact. And I think, you know, the role of business school is really to focus on the betterment of our society and to prepare basically our people to work together in peace, and even if there is no peace. So that's why our really theme throughout everything that we do is about sustainability. And we focus on the firm's activities in relation to sustainable development. So that's why the things that really concern me the most is to try to, through our research, to understand the broader consequences of firms' activities in our society and to the environment, locally and globally. And that's why globally can only take place if we join our forces and work together. We also want to figure out what is the best way to design models that will help leaders to have a type of governance that will be responsible. So that's why we always look at global sustainable governance for the firms, for the multinationals, and even for the small firm. We are also concerned to contribute in the area of policies, because we want to help to shape policies that promote sustainable and equitable growth in our region. But what we learn from our region sometimes can be applicable to the rest of the world. How we can draw attention to potential role of the firm in both enabling and mitigating complex environmental and societal challenges in our region. And obviously, our entire focus remain in Africa and in North Africa and so forth. But still, we believe that when we have our researcher working with other researchers, we are able to really figure out the best way to scale up what we are doing. We are also concerned to answer a question like why and how the firms should rethink their responsible conduct as an integral part of their strategy. And this is very critical to really focus on the strategy of the firm. Or how can firms in our region contribute to the betterment of society by influencing or enabling international practices and supporting the objective of the United Nations strategic development goals. We also try to answer a question like, can firm offer impactful solutions or bring solution to environmental and societal problems in our region? Or how can local firms' initiative be scaled up and adopted by other firms outside? So this is why the only purpose really, that we have is to make sure that we are in a situation where our international collaboration help us to refine what we are doing in a way that we can impact our students by developing knowledge that will directly go into the curriculum, but at the same time also impact our ecosystem and society at large. So why I'm insisting on this is because at the end of the day, we want to make sure what we are doing will have some effect. And for us, the contribution is, first of all, to our students, that we hope that they will be the future leaders of tomorrow's firms. But at the same time, we feel that we have a role to play in our society. And this is why really the collaboration that we are trying to develop all around the world are geared about joining forces to tackle big problems that no one can handle. So that's really what is at the core of what we are doing.
Okay, thank you so much for this really impressive speech, I would like to say, because it was really connected with most important topics which are in the scope of our research too in Graduate School of Economics and Management and our focus. Dear colleagues, do you have any questions to our experts? So actually, I have a question regarding the regions of international economy, because you mentioned that, of course, not all results of your research can be applicable to all the regions in the world, but it is interesting. In your experience, what are the regions in the world which really can apply and can be compared with your region regarding the research outcomes?
Well, in fact, we can always collaborate and develop collaboration with any region, because the biggest challenges that the world is facing really are impacting everywhere. Obviously, in Africa, we are much more impacted than the rest of the world. So I think that what we do in Africa, because it's sometimes survival, about really trying to sustain the adversity where we are in situation like climate challenges, could be applied anywhere. And I think that what we are starting, somebody has, I think you mentioned, or your colleague has mentioned, about green finance, sustainable finance. Africa is very advanced when it comes to fintech. And if you look at what is being done in Ghana, in Rwanda, in Egypt, and also in Morocco, we are trying to move faster. It's something that really comes from the creativity and the innovation, because the problems are very acute. And at the end of the day, some of our solutions leapfrog the development that takes place usually in advanced countries. So this is why sometimes what we are developing has the potential to be applied anywhere. But the biggest problem that the world is facing, I think we have to join forces, no matter if we are in Africa or in Australia. And I think we should all collaborate in the way that we prepare the future world that is changing so fast. And we have to be preparing for peace in a way that we can really resolve those challenges that sometimes come from conflict. And the academic world, as you know, we are sometimes dreamers, and it helps in today's world to dream about a peaceful environment where we can all collaborate and somehow be an actor for the betterment of our region, of our continent, and to a certain extent, the entire world. So that's why those solutions are applicable across the world. Yes?
Professor Ludmila Rozhanskaya, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for your comments. And I would like to add maybe some phrases, because there is very important for us, I mean for Russian researchers, to collaborate with the African Institution and Research Center, because this direction, I mean this region, this huge region, for us is maybe new, but very important according to the new direction of international cooperation, economic cooperation, maybe new direction of value chains. And this is maybe one of the highest tempo of growth in the world, which we can see on the Africa example, because even in comparison with the European community, America, USA, we can see the not very high rate of growth, but the African countries we can see now is the example of new and modern mode of the economic growth, and some very interesting maybe examples of how to develop the business with other country in new industries. And it seems to me this opportunity could be most important not only for Ural Federal University, like only one university in Russian Federation, but this is maybe the openness for new opportunity for all society, research society in Russia.
Thank you very much for your comment. As you know, since the 70s, we have been announcing that Africa will be emerging. But I think today, really, what we are witnessing is that Africa is starting to be an important players. And if you are looking at the rate of return of investment that are taking place in Africa, obviously they are more risky, but the rate of return is double of what we can get in any other countries. But our role, in business school is really to try to design the blueprint of the economic fabric that will be conducive to do business with each other. And as you know, in the issue of sustainability in Africa is very acute, because we have a lot of what we call illicit financial flows that are taking place. Africa has been depicted as the poor continent, which is completely not true, because Africa is extremely rich, but it is suffering from governance issues. And if you look at the debt of Africa is huge. And so to some extent you will say, well, Africa is in trouble, but it is in trouble and less because our role is to curb all those illicit financial flow that takes place that are in excess of the debt level. In other words, Africa today is a net creditors, but because of the bad governance, we end up by having a lot of poverty. But now we see that a lot of African countries are starting to be more aware, and I think from my perspective, because I evolved for almost 30 years in the US. Now moving back to Africa, I can tell you that it is emerging, and I understand why Russia, China, the European, the US, all, they want to make sure to have a piece of the pie. And I think the pie is getting bigger, but it has to be managed, and the governance should be African. So in a way that, countries like Russia and Morocco could be doing business, which we are doing. But more importantly, for the business school perspective, we have to plant the seeds of success for tomorrow, because our students in 20 years will be the leaders that may be doing business with each other. So that's why we need to collaborate.
Thank you so much for these comments. And actually, a very short remark from my side is that in GCM, we have a number of students from Africa, quite many students from Africa. And I can say that all of them are really very encouraged to get new knowledge, to come back in Africa, in their countries, and develop their countries further. So this is just a common feature of all students from Africa. Thank you so much for this.
Can I have a small comment, please, Ekaterina?
Yes, sure.
Well, dear sir, thank you very much for this passionate speech, because I'm happy that we share the same values. And please have a look at our sustainability report of our school, because that's exactly what we follow. And we have prepared a list of the projects that we are realizing different programs and different levels. And this is exactly what we do, from talking the talk to walking the walk, towards placing these commitments in their sustainable mindset, both in their future commitment to sustainable development goals, but also in all the different spheres with institutional bodies in economics, finance, and management and social policy. So I'd be happy if we share some of these projects as well. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you again for this interesting discussion, and we go further, and I give the floor to our next expert, Professor Dr. Irina Turgin. So, Professor Irina, you're welcome, and I will share the screen again. Okay.
Dear friends, dear colleagues, I'm happy to see all of you now, and I want to tell a little bit more about our peer-reviewed journals. Graduate School of Economic and Management is a very active participant of publication process, and we publish 6 journals. 5 from them are included in international no-committed basis, such as Scopus and Web of Science, and I present most interesting and most important characteristics of this journal. The first journal which I want to note is Journal of Applied Economic Research. This journal is accumulated broad range of topics and include articles devoted to different aspects of economic and social development. This journal is included now in Russian Science Citation Index, and we hope this journal will be indexed in Scopus. in the end of this year. The next, Journal of Tax Reform. The main focus of this journal is problem of taxation and finance. This journal accumulate articles from different countries, from Asia, Europe, Africa, and this journal published in English. The next, Economy of Regions. We published this journal in collaboration with Institute of Economics of Russian Academy of Science. And I want to know that Russian Academy of Science is one of the most important our partners in research activity. And this journal is indexed in Scopus, Web of Science, Russian Science Citation Index. It's possible to present material in English and Russian, and now this journal occupies highest position in international ranking. Its journal occupy first and second quartile according different nocometric indicators. The next, our economy. We also published this journal jointly with the Institute of Economics of the Russian Academy of Science. This journal is published totally in English, and also this journal is included in Scopus. This journal is very young, and the main focus of this journal is the problem of territorial development, with focus on the countries with emerging market economies. And the next, also very interesting journal, University Management, Practice and Analysis. It's interdisciplinary international peer-reviewed journal. The article present in English and Russian, and this journal covers the problem of universities development in Russia and other countries. And the last but not least, International Journal of Energy Production and Management. This journal is published totally in English, and this journal is included in Scopus and Web of Science. So we have really broad opportunities for publications, and we will be happy to see the articles of our new partners. And I'm ready to consult and recommend and support you in this process. And also I want to present you information about most important GSM research labs, and the oldest, largest, and most well-known our research lab is a lab for international and regional economics. And the head of this lab, Dr. Kazi Sohak, now is here, and I'm sure he present more complicated information about activity of this laboratory. The next is a lab for engineering and economics interdisciplinary research in energy and high-tech industries. And the head of this lab is Professor Magaril. She's very famous and very famous researcher in sphere of environmental studies, and I sure collaboration with this lab could be very fruitful and useful for many of participants of this meeting. The next lab is the Value Chain Research Lab, and the head of this lab, Professor Ruzhanskaya, also is here, and she is ready to give information about research activity. The other lab is the lab for applied system research. The head of this lab is Professor Kruglikov, and Professor Kruglikov is specialized in sphere of mathematic modeling of economic process. The next is lab of engineering and economic studies of economic security issues, and the last, university development studies. This lab covers different aspects of modern problems of higher education, university development in Russia and other countries. And also, dear colleagues, now our institute is involved in realization one of the most important all-national project. Its project has the name Priority 2030. It's the great program aimed to support of Russian science and higher education, and we are happy to be the part of this program. And in framework of this program, we realize the project Human Well-being, and we focus here on integration objective indicators of human well-being and subjective psychological indicators of human well-being, and we hope to get some interesting research results during realization of this project. Dear colleagues, it's the main points which I planned to present you, and I'm happy to support your integration and support your interaction with our journals, with our research labs, and happy to be the part of our cooperation and interaction. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Irina Turgil. And dear colleagues, again, I'm asking about the questions. If you have any questions to Professor Dr. Irina. Currently, no questions, and I have one regarding the priorities on, again, international regions and countries in the policy of Russia and the governmental projects in the area of research support, like Priority 2030 and other projects. Do we have any geographical international priorities here?
This project has not strong limitation in geographical priorities, and our university and our institute is free in search of our partners, but we understand that collaboration with countries from Africa, from Asia, can add many important aspects in our research. and can enrich our research with very specific topics, specific aims, specific results, and we will be happy to cooperate and enlarge the topics and direction of our research inside the framework of Priority 2030, and to show and to include some aspect connecting with human well-being in other countries from Africa, Asia, and etc.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this answer and for this information, because it is really important for understanding that most of our partners, of course, are welcome to join the projects under the support of Russian government and the grants under the umbrella of the project Priority 2030. So, colleagues, do you have any more questions to Professor Dr. Irina Turgev? No questions. And now I am happy to invite for the next presentation our speaker from Algeria, and Professor Dr. Zubair Ayash. You're welcome.
Welcome.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. It's with pleasure that we participate in this table. I will be short because I don't repeat what my colleagues see. So I will first I will present my university, Bouaghi University, Algeria. It's in the east of Algeria. This is University Bouaghi, Algeria. Currently, the university has 7 faculties and 3 institutes located in 5 university boards. The university with a broad disciplinary spectrum is particularly renowned for a level of its fundamental research, mathematics, physics, geometry, but also in field in human science and economics, commercial and management science. The university offers very expensive disciplinary level, both bachelor and master's and doctoral degrees. I will speak about the international cooperation. The university developed cooperation with foreign universities, both in Europe, Arabic, and American, promotes scientific exchange and collaboration. University Al-Arabi Belmedi Bouaghi now among the various networks, the networks of Oral Mediterranean University, the Agence of Africa University de la Francophonie, the Association African University, the Association of Arab Universities. It's also part of Averroes network. International cooperation. Now we have bilateral cooperation agreement. We have 42 with the US universities, Canadian University, French University, Italian, Romanian, Turkish, and I can add the Russian universities now. Also, we have added into 4 international cooperation programs, the DSCOP program, the Erasmus Plus program, the PhD Tassili programs, and the Profas Plus programs. Al-Arabi Belmedi University follow others to a cooperation initiative and process by encouraging its by engaging in projects. So the university wishes to provide all the necessary support to its actors to actively participate in international research projects. Faculty of Economics, Commercial Science and Management. Yes, we have, it's one of the big faculty in the university. The Faculty of Commercial and Management Science is looking to conclude real cooperation agreements that serve the interests of all parties. They are parties of a win-win relationship. Faculty of Economics, Commercial and Management Science has two research laboratories. The first work on access of accounting, finance, science, and taxation, and the second works on the governance. The Faculty of Economics, Commercial and Management Science works in direct collaboration with the University Internationalization Center with the aim of encouraging, helping, and supporting students in the creation of micro enterprises. The Faculty of Economics, Commercial and Management Science has 3 double behind international peer-reviewed annual free open access scientific journals published in Arabic, French, and English. Journal of Financial Accounting and Management Studies, Journal of Economic and Finance Studies, and the Journal of Enterprise Governance. Now I will be direct. We have 6 points. We have 6 points to explain what the can collaborate with our partners. The first is the organization of summer autumn schools. Summer autumn schools. We speak here about an interactive session with international business and academic leaders to develop strategies for new business creation and create group monitors to guide and the sensibility and international business solutions. Students will be learned up-to-date usage of the project management and entrepreneurship and develop real entrepreneurial projects tutored by mixed expert groups. We also propose that all the participants of this round the table discussion can participate and thus within the field of actions. Also, the second point is the student exchange. We speak about the short-term programs for outgoing students, short-term programs for incoming students. We speak about bachelor's and master's students. For the PhD students, we speak about joint supervision of doctoral thesis, doctor student for students, and scientific visits. Is the academic mobility for teaching staff. For staff who can teach English, for promoting scientific visit for academic staff between universities, and joint supervision of doctoral dissertation, which allow researchers to benefit from the experience of the academic staff of the universities. Also, work to create joint research projects that serve both of partners' economies in order to benefit from the experience of both parties, especially entrepreneurship, public policy, administration, and international trade, finance. Scientific events. The University of Mbagi is open to all proposals for organization of international conference, workshop, etc. with each partner. And it's also for the participation of partners in the seminar it's organized. We have some pictures from some events which organized this year. We organized a lot of conference and workshop. Have also a big project to improve the writing of our university. So we propose to work together to improve the writing of each university. We speak about two things, especially the TH and the QACE World University ranking in education business, in the social and management, in economics and economics. It's also, so we invite you to visit Algeria. Welcome for everybody to Algeria. We will honored to serve you. And we have some pictures from our beautiful Algeria. Thank you. I am here for any questions.
Thank you so much. And I see the raised hand of Professor Dr. Jana Bilaeva. You're welcome.
Dear Zubir, thank you very much for your picturesque presentation with concrete offers. And of course, it is not fair because after these pictures, all of us exclusively and inclusively would like to visit Algeria.
You are welcome.
But first of all, of course, I've noticed that there are a few points that we can share because we also have summer and autumn schools. And the school in autumn is actually entitled Sustainable Business Development, Smart Future for All. And it will take place offline and in hybrid mode with our corporate partners this autumn. So I'll be happy to discuss usual participation of our students to invite them to visit and do inclusive research in this area as well. So, and of course, all other topics proposed, I fully endorse and will be happy to participate and to work together in these issues.
Okay, it's good. Thank you. It's good.
And just a small question from me, because you told some ideas about the grants and about the programs to support international research in your institution. Do you have any special programs or projects that can support the development of research projects together with researchers and laboratories from Russia?
From Russia, no. In economics, we have not from Russia, but we hope so. We hope so to have any collaboration or new collaboration for your laboratory. We are here. We are okay for any lesson. So we can suggest if you have any suggestion in some of the top one of two or three topic. What I say.
Actually, I think that we have many overlapping topics, and for sure we will continue our discussion about international research projects. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Very interesting. And now we go to our next expert, and I'm happy to invite Professor Dr. Kazi Sahak from Graduate School of Economics and Management, the head of our laboratory for international and regional economics, who is currently in Australia. So, Professor Dr. Kazi, happy to see you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Whenever I come to Melbourne, I catch some flu. I don't know why. Anyway, I think there is a slide, right? Please share the slide. All right, so I will try to highlight our laboratory. That's a laboratory for international regional economics of GCM under ULFU. It's headed by me. So based on the expertise or research interest, we classify or we make 5 clusters of this laboratory: that economic theory, regional economics, applied macroeconomics, global social responsibility, excellence and international business, and institutional economics. So we have around 30 researchers in this lab working, some of them full-time, some of them part-time, young researchers and the senior researchers. So each cluster is headed by very prolific researchers, those who have been publishing their research work in a very prestigious international journal on that particular areas. So beside of these things, since my last colleague from Morocco was talking about sustainability, we also working about sustainability. For example, one of the important goal is to augment renewable energy in the total energy mix to alleviate or curbing carbon emissions, which is the main driver for climate change. But the white literature overlooks some critical aspects, for example, the role of minerals. Since if you talk about renewable energy facilities like solar panel, wind turbine, it requires a significant amount of minerals, which is located in few countries. So we try to give policy papers. That is something I think we are pioneering these research areas. Then beside of sustainability, there are many contemporary issues. For example, economic sanctions. So under perfect market conditions, many theories are not working since Russia is encountering a lot of economic sanctions. So monetary systems have been changed. Therefore, we are focusing on many aspects of this topic about geopolitics and how the monetary policy or the trade integration changing over time. So we also involving some other practitioner, for example, Russian copper companies. Sometimes we invite central bank representative like this. So regarding the team compositions, we also include our bachelor students, master students, and PhD students. We have around 7 to 8 PhD students, international PhD students, those who are getting a scholarship and actively working under the lab. And we keep publishing some good articles, let's say around 250 articles per year in a good journals. Beside publications, we also conducting workshop or conference, international conference. So last time we organized an international conference on mineral policy towards global energy transitions. Then this year we're going to arrange also energy security under global geopolitical risk. In the meantime, we also obtained several research grants, some of them international, some of them local. So for example, Russian Science Foundation, then Russian Science Foundation, a foundation for basic research that is joined with Iran. Then we also producing some of the proposal with the Chinese team, Indian team. In terms of research outcome, I think we have very good success in terms of producing high quality paper, like a A-star paper on various ongoing or important topics. Regarding the knowledge transfer, for example, we are not only publishing the paper, we also try to transfer the knowledge to our students, those who are actively involved. So for example, some of the bachelor students and master students, they are collaborating with some prolific researchers in the lab. And there are some success story. For example, they publish even A-star journal, being a bachelor student. So I believe that is our perfect success story in terms of transferring knowledge. Regarding the area of collaboration with international teams, I can offer a few scope. For example, if it is from like India, China, or several other countries, there is a joint call. So we can submit our proposal on some ongoing research agenda. Beside of these things, we can also organize a joint conference, or we have PhD programs. So we sometimes can invite our colleagues from partner university to for co-supervisions and so on. We also conducting like a summer school on econometrics, focusing on some very latest techniques in econometrics for panel data, time series data. So that's almost our annual event. So if from our partner university students or some faculty members are interested, we'll be happy to host them. So thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Kazi, and dear colleagues, any questions regarding the activity of Laboratory of International and Regional Economics? Okay, so I have very short question actually, because you already mentioned some directions and key priorities of the laboratory activity. But if we talk about the next future steps, just in the nearest future, what could be defined as priority development of the lab?
Regarding the research activities?
Yes, sure.
Well, so we have several research teams. Those are focusing on some contemporary issues, as I said. Some of them focusing on the mineral policies or global energy transitions. We also focusing on very pure applied macroeconomics, monetary economics, for example, the role of CBDC, like central bank digital currency, then currency swap line, since Russian government have taken several policies that, for example, petro-yuan concept or no ruble, no gas. So what is the economic implications of this kind of policy that central bank has taken? So we are trying to give a empirical shape that how Russian economy can respond with the ongoing crisis, economic sanction. At the same time, like for example, Iran also are facing enormous economic sanctions. So how Iranian economy could survive. So we had some roundtable discussions about macroeconomic policies. So we are focusing on very contemporary issues, macroeconomic issues.
Thank you for this answer, and I'm sure that our colleagues participating today for sure can be interested in this area of study, and so we will be happy to collaborate with our colleagues from other institutions and other countries in the areas defined by Professor Dr. Kazi. Thank you so much, and we move further, and I would like to invite our next speaker from GSM, Professor Dr. Lyudmila Ruzhanskaya, who will introduce the activity of the Laboratory for Value Chain Research. Professor Dr. Lyudmila Ruzhanskaya, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity to present our newly organized research laboratory in opposite with the Professor Sohak laboratory. We are newly organized, not the old laboratory, and we have the long history of our activity, but we decided, we were founded under the competition with other research teams in Ural Federal University and under the umbrella of Priority 2030. This is the initiative of Russian government, and the governance of our university decided to create a new laboratory on the very contemporary topic about the value chain, global value chain, because one of the new interest in the manufacturing policy, industrial policy, structural policy, to find the new direction for export, import, for Russian enterprises, and how to develop the FDI and maybe how to be attractive for international investors, how to cooperate with the new countries, with the new partners, how to create the not only value chains, but supply chains, and how to create the new policy, economic policy in these new circumstances for Russian economy. But we not restrict our interest only on the Russian practice, but we are trying to investigate the best practices from world international practice and world economy. We are trying to evaluate how to apply and how to examine some examples of the practice of how to organize global value chains in other countries. And for us, very important to know how to develop in the circumstance of sanctions. You see there are several key focuses of our laboratory. We are trying to investigate in the sphere of global value chain, and at the same time the foreign direct investment and the migration. This is the main field of interest, and we are implement the medium-term project transforming global value chains, new windows of opportunity for position in the Russian companies. We are trying to not manage only the research project, but try to organize some scientific events, scientific seminars, organize the sections in national conferences, for example, not only in Ural Federal University, but in the High School of Economics, and try to share our results with other investigators. And according to our membership composition, we invited for our research team the researchers from High School of Economics, and our research group led by Yuri Simachov, Director of Economic Policy of High School of Economics, and his colleagues from Moscow and St. Petersburg branches of High School of Economics. And we are trying to cooperate with other research institutions in Russia. And so, as previous speaker, we are trying to involve in our activity not only the adult research, but the young research, I mean the master and PhD students. That's why we are seeking for a young researcher for creating the good basic to continue the best tradition for research in the sphere of international economics and in the sphere of economic policy. For us, it's very important not only be fruitful for the research cooperation, but for cooperation with the business society. And we are trying to organize the roundtable with the representatives of local business, for business on a federal level. In Moscow, we are organize some events with the Russian organization of entrepreneurs and manufacturers, and we invite to cooperate with us in this sphere. And it seems to me it could be very important to continue to share of the result of our research with the maybe youngest researchers, I mean the master students. And it could be maybe very interesting to organize some research projects, international research project between the master students in Ural Federal University and our partner universities. And I have heard some minutes ago about some interesting idea how to organize this cooperation from our Algerian partner. Maybe it could be some ideas about how to study the startups for young entrepreneurs, and maybe it could be better to start with the very short exchange program during the summer periods, and after that to organize some international research project with our students. And I can share with all interested persons with the some personal accounts of my colleagues in the laboratory, and maybe it could be useful for understanding the field of interest of me and my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you for this presentation. And dear colleagues, please, you're welcome with your questions to Professor Dr. Lyudmila Rozhanskaya. Any questions? Okay, so yeah, I see the hand of Professor Dr. Zhana Bilaeva. Yes, you're welcome.
Well, I don't have a question to my colleague,
but maybe comments.
Yeah, but maybe a comment. Well, I think that we heard a lot of different ideas on research, academic exchange, and even grant submissions and education. And I think that actually it would be perfect if we develop and discuss that we could name potential roundtables in frame of our key conference in November or our partner universities conferences, and have this as a series of roundtables with African universities, with Eastern universities, with our new partners. Also, and that could be a series of roundtable research for younger and more mature researchers to think what would be their point of interest and what would be outcome. And then it will be a ready-to-go proposal for different grant application venues. As for their business involvement, we also have a big industrial fair here in Yekaterinburg in Russia. It's called Innoprom. And the partner of this year exhibition is China. So, but it does mean that there are only Chinese and companies and business schools are welcome here. So there are lots of different organized events with big businesses and with different, international missions to see new possibilities and new partners in new markets. So that could be a start. And then when in November, we have also lots of business representatives. They are pretty much interested in immersive visits to partner countries to study, to practice, and to form future entrepreneurial contacts. So I would like to suggest first, just to conclude, to build the call for a series of workshops. Second, build a call for a series of education short events, maybe with the same program in all the partner countries. And a final presentation in online or offline way. And of course, well, I myself doing research in sustainability and ESG and digital transformation, I would be happy to cooperate in this area and its impacts on subjective and objective well-being.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Zhana Bilaeva, for these really important ideas, which would be significant parts of the conclusion for our meeting. And dear colleagues, please, if you have any remarks in the end of our discussion, please, you're welcome to share with us your ideas and your proposals. We can do then after we finish our today event. Because for sure, we understand now that we have a lot of common issues for research and a lot of ideas we can do together as a kind of our joint projects in the research area. So anything to share after all these presentations in conclusion? Okay, actually, I think that we really had quite an active discussion and with a lot of opinions and a lot of ideas and exchanged this among all participants. And of course, this is a very good added value for all of us. And I'm really thankful to all of you for your contribution and for knowledge sharing and ideas sharing. After our today meeting, I will share the link to the recording of this video, as I already said. And of course, I will send the brief overview of the ideas we discussed today and a kind of plan for our next steps of developing collaboration between the participants of our today roundtable discussion and next events we will do already together. Thank you so much for your participation. We are right in time, as planned, as scheduled, and this is really a very good sign of our further actions.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. Nice to
Thank
meet
all of
you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.